The Palm Springs Power Baseball Organization is participating in Strike Out Bullies, a bullying awareness and literacy program for schools in the Coachella Valley. One of the biggest problems a child faces today is bullying, according to a new study by UCLA. Bullies are everywhere, in schools, internet, sports, and playgrounds. Bully influence can affect and shape a young child's future views of life, especially in youth sports, where sports should be a fun and growing experience. The numbers continue to rise every month. It is estimated that 160,000 children miss school every day due to fear of attack or intimidation by other students. Source: National Education Association. American schools harbor approximately 2.1 million bullies and 2.7 million of their victims. Dan Alwas, National School Safety Center. 1 in 7 students in grades K through 12 is either a bully or a victim of bullying. How to work together to make schools and communities safer. 56% of students have personally witnessed some type of bullying at school. 15% of all school absenteeism is directly related to fears of being bullied at school. Long before he became an American Idol, Michael Phelps experienced life from a far more humbling and painful perspective. He was the object of scorn and torment at the hands of bullies. Heading into middle school in Baltimore, young Michael was a hyperactive kid with ADHD and protruding ears. He was an easy target for bullies at a vulnerable age. His mom, Debbie, says Michael wore baseball hats all the time, in part to try to conceal the size of his ears. But it didn't work. Other kids continually swatted at his ears and made fun of them. It was very frustrating at the time, Phelps said. I always told him to be the stronger person and walk away, recalled his mother. He got to the point where he hauled off and decked somebody and got suspended from school. In retrospect, some of those adolescent difficulties probably helped Phelps in the pool. It was a place to release energy and unleash frustrations. And if kids picked on him on dry land, he'd make sure nobody could stay with him in the water. Bullying can happen anywhere, face-to-face, by text messages, or on the web. It is not limited by age, gender, or education level. It is not a phase, and it is not a joke. Bullying can cause lasting harm. The president cited a statistic that 1/3 of all the middle and high school students in the nation have reported being bullied over the course of the school year. Personalizing the statistic, he then admitted even he was bullied as a youngster. As adults, we all remember what it was like to see kids picked on in the hallways in the schools, Obama said, and I have to say, with big ears and the name that I have, I wasn't immune. I didn't emerge unscathed. Big Ear's funny name, President Obama says he had to endure being bullied too. He says he endured schoolyard harassment because of his large ears and funny name. And he wants today's students to know bullying is unacceptable. 1/3 of middle school and high school students have reported being bullied during the school year, Obama said. Almost 3 million students have said they were pushed, shoved, tripped, even spit on. It's also more likely to affect kids that are seen as different, whether it's because of the color of their skin, the clothes they wear, the disability they may have, or sexual orientation. Bullying. Let's see what it is. Bullying is when kids hurt or scare other kids on purpose. Bullying can hurt everyone. Kids who are bullied sometimes have a hard time standing up for themselves. Bullying is a widespread and serious problem that can happen anywhere. It is not a phase children have to go through. It's not just messing around, and it's not something to grow out of. Bullying can cause serious and lasting harm. What is bullying? Although definitions of bullying vary, most agree that bullying involves imbalance of power. People who bully use their power to control or harm, and the people being bullied may have a hard time defending themselves. Intent to cause harm. Actions done by accident are not bullying. The person bullying has a goal to cause harm. Repetition. Incidents of bullying happen to the same person over and over by the same person or group. Let's look at types of bullying. Bullying can take many forms. Verbal, name-calling, teasing. Social, spreading rumors, leaving people out on purpose, breaking up friendships. Physical, hitting, punching, shoving. Cyberbullying, using the internet, mobile phones, or social media, like Facebook or Twitter, to harm others. People who bully others usually pick on those who have less social power, peer status, psychological power, know how to harm others, or physical power, size, strength. However, some people who bully also have been bullied by others. Fact, people who bully have power over those they bully. People who bully others usually pick on those who have less social power or peer status, psychological power, they know how to harm others, or physical power, size, strength. However, some people who bully also have been bullied by others. People who both bully and are bullied by others are at the highest risk for problems such as depression and anxiety, and are more likely to become involved in risky or delinquent behavior. Fact, spreading rumors is a form of bullying. Spreading rumors, name-calling, excluding others, and embarrassing them are all forms of social bullying that can cause serious and lasting harm. Those in the lower grades reported being in twice as many fights as those in the higher grades. However, there is a lower rate of serious violent crimes in the elementary level than in the middle or high schools. 90% of 4th through 8th graders report being victims of bullying. Myth. People who bully are insecure and have low self-esteem. Many people who bully are popular and have average or better than average self-esteem. They often take pride in their aggressive behavior and control over the people they bully. People who bully may be a part of a group that thinks bullying is okay. Some people who bully may also have poor social skills and experience anxiety or depression. For them, bullying can be a way to gain social status. Myth. Bullying usually occurs when there are no other students around. Students see about 4 out of every 5 bullying incidents at school. In fact, when they witness bullying, they give the student who is bullying positive attention, or even join in about 3/4 of the time. Myth. Only boys bully. People think that physical bullying by boys is the most common form of bullying. However, verbal, social, and physical bullying happens among both boys and girls, especially as they grow older. People who are bullied. People who are bullied have higher risk of depression and anxiety, including the following symptoms that may persist into adulthood: increased feelings of sadness and loneliness, having increased thoughts about suicide that may persist into adulthood. In one study, adults who recalled being bullied in youth were 3 times more likely to have suicidal thoughts or inclinations. Among students, homicide perpetrators were more than twice as likely as homicide victims to have been bullied by peers. Effects of bullying. People who are bullied are more likely to have health complaints. In one study, being bullied was associated with physical health status 3 years later. Have decreased academic achievement, GPA and standardized test scores, and school participation. 86% of students said other kids picking on them, making fun of them, or bullying them causes teenagers to turn to lethal violence in the schools. Effects of bullying. People who are bullied are more likely to miss or drop out of school, are more likely to retaliate through extremely violent measures. In 12 of 15 school shooting cases in the 1990s, the shooters had a history of being bullied. 61% of students said students shoot others because they have been victims of physical abuse at home. Effects of bullying. People who bully others have a higher risk of abusing alcohol and other drugs in adolescence and as adults, are more likely to get into fights, vandalize property, and drop out of school, are more likely to engage in early sexual activity. 54% of students said witnessing physical abuse at home can lead to violence in school. According to bullying statistics, 1 out of every 10 students who drops out of school does so because of repeated bullying. Effects of bullying. People who bully others are more likely to be abusive toward their romantic partners, spouses, or children as adults, are more likely to have criminal convictions and traffic citations as adults. In one study, 60% of boys who bullied others in middle school had a criminal conviction by age 24. Harassment and bullying have been linked to 75% of school shooting incidents. A recent bullying disaster. 2 Minnesota girls who felt bullied by their peers killed themselves in an apparent suicide pact during a sleepover at one of the teens' homes. The girls hanged themselves and left suicide notes, one detailing plans for her funeral. Paige Moravets had recently gotten into a fight at school. Her friend Haley was expelled after stepping in to help her. In fact, they made her life miserable. They taunted her about her weight and her red hair. She was ostracized and mocked. She became so self-conscious she would rarely eat at school for fear it would only bring on more ridicule. First, what can bullied kids do? Speak up against bullying. Say something like, "Stop it." Walk away. Act like you do not care, even if you really do. Tell an adult you trust. They may have ideas about what you can do. Stick together. Staying with a group might help. Act like you do not care, even if you really do. Bullying statistics say revenge is the strongest motivation for school shootings. Our bullying knowledge. Myth. Cyberbullying really isn't a problem since there's no actual verbal or physical contact. Bullying can be even more destructive when no one is around except the person being bullied. Our bullying knowledge. Myth. Bullying often resolves itself when you ignore it. Bullying reflects an imbalance of power that happens again and again. Ignoring the bullying teaches students who bully that they can bully others without consequences. Adults and other students need to stand up for children who are bullied and to ensure they are protected and safe. Our bullying knowledge. Myth. All children will outgrow bullying. For some, bullying continues as they become older. Unless someone intervenes, the bullying will likely continue, and in some cases grow into violence and other serious problems. Children who consistently bully others often continue their aggressive behavior through adolescence and into adulthood. Our bullying knowledge. Adults should encourage children to help keep their school safe and to tell an adult when they see bullying. 71% of students report incidents of bullying as a problem at their school. Our bullying knowledge. Myth. Teachers often intervene to stop bullying. Adults often do not witness bullying despite their good intentions. Teachers intervene in only 14% of classroom bullying episodes and in 4% of bullying incidents that happen outside the classroom. New York Mets. The Strikeout Bullies, a bully awareness and literacy program, was successfully introduced to the New York Mets farm clubs last year. St. Lucie Mets, Savannah Sand Gnats, Binghamton Mets, Buffalo Bisons, Kingsport Mets, Brooklyn Cyclones, and of course, the New York Mets. What can the power do? We'll be working with an organization called Lucky Sports, which has launched a national campaign against bullying, employing the Strikeout Bullies, a bully awareness and literacy program that uses baseball as a vehicle to help young people understand the serious consequences of bullying and to create an intervention that can reduce or even eliminate it. Lucky Sports worked closely developing the Strikeout Bullies program with Richard Astro, Ph.D., Director of Education and Service Programs for the New York Mets. Students at Binghamton's Horace Mann Elementary School got a visit from some local celebrities, players from the Binghamton Mets, Dr. Astro said. The players stopped by the school to read to students and to speak to them about the importance of combating bullying. The players say they hope their influence will help the kids make smart decisions. Each year, the New York Mets organization offers to get involved in our schools, and if we don't take them up on the offer, they'll go to another district. I'd hate to have that happen. As you saw on May 11th, these young men are very caring, professional, and great with the students. It's a great opportunity for our schools, said Peter Stewart, principal of Binghamton's Horace Mann Elementary School. The message is simple at Horace Mann Elementary: more reading and less bullying. Students heard the message from several B-Mets players visiting the Binghamton school. The players read some of their favorite childhood books to students, hoping that they will read 15 minutes a day for 20 days. If they do, the kids get free tickets to a B-Mets game. For some students, the message goes further than academics. Our students in grades 2 and 3 will be writing stories related to bullying, and we're going to be working with the Mets on reading and anti-bullying, says Horace Mann Principal Peter Stewart. The principal says the elementary school serves as the foundation for not just education, but for character building as well. Mark Cohoon, Binghamton Mets pitcher, said, "You get to see the kids from the field. When they're in the stands, they might get an autograph. But to come here and be in person right up close with them, get to interact with them, it makes a huge difference. And if that means one kid changing their life, then it's all worth it." According to Dr. Astro, our B-Mets players loved doing the Strikeout Bullies program here. We had a pitcher from Panama today who got shelled last night and told the class that his manager could have been a hoodoo and trashed him. But he was like Coach Wiffle and said, "Forget it. Just go back out there. Next time, work harder with spotting your pitches." That's why your baseball bully book is so perfect for the program. Along with their personalized book that was autographed by a B-Met player, the students and their families were treated to a free B-Mets game and a free hot dog for their participation in the Strikeout Bullies program. Our bullying knowledge, myth. Nothing can be done to reduce bullying. And that's where the Palm Springs Power Baseball organization comes in with their Strikeout Bullies program. Useful initiatives to prevent and stop bullying have reduced bullying by 15 to 50%. The most successful initiatives involve the entire community of teachers, staff, parents, students, and community members. And that's where the Palm Springs Power Baseball organization comes in with their Strikeout Bullies program. What can the Palm Springs Power do? They'll be working with an organization called Lucky Sports Incorporated, a nonprofit organization that has launched a national campaign against bullying, employing baseball as a vehicle to help young people understand the serious consequences of bullying and to create interventions that can reduce or even eliminate it. Players from the Power will be reading a Lucky Sports book about baseball and bullying to second and third graders. They'll discuss what we've read with the students and ask them to share their ideas about bullying, as it is portrayed in the book with us. Fortunately, the folks at Lucky Sports have published Spanish-language versions of some of their books, including the one we'll be using about baseball. That will enable our Latin players to read and discuss the book with Spanish-speaking students in the schools with which we visit. We'll give students a workbook in which they can write their own interpretations of stories we've read to and with them. Then when we return to the school, we'll discuss what they've written and make suggestions as to how they might improve their work. Once they've finished, we'll collect their workbooks and review their work with our comments. Finally, we'll bring the children to the ballpark and honor them on our field before the game. At that time, they'll be given a copy of their book they've written along with their picture, plus much more. In this way, each student will have a memento of their time with us and with a genuine effort to stop bullying. And we'll even get Rocky the Ram to help. Will we solve every bullying problem in the Coachella Valley schools? Of course not. But given the esteem in which we as professional athletes are held by young people, we can and will make a difference. In conclusion, we're baseball players first and foremost. That's what we do, and that's what we love, here in Palm Springs and everywhere we play the game. But in a society in which the general welfare depends upon the civic responsibility of an engaged citizenry, we also have the responsibility to use all of the tools at our disposal to help create a fairer, more just society. And what better place for us to work than with the children who may only be 25% of our population, but who are 100% of our future?